So I was seeing some videos on YouTube about the Diablo Steel Demon saw blade. You can just put on your normal circular saw, 7¼ inches. And they're $27 on Amazon when I looked. I was like, hey, is there anything cheaper than 27? And there was this. It's a Toolman 7¼ clone of that Steel Demon blade, and it was $17. So, what does $17 get you? Let's find out. All right, here's the unboxing. It's nice to have a blister pack that doesn't require getting out your razor knife. What does it say? 8,000 max RPM. This is something I noticed. So the saw blade says 8,000. I think normal circular saws are about $5,000, 5,000. But on here, it says max RPM 5,000. So, like the saw I'm putting it on is going to go just over 5,000. So that's, I think, when you save $10, they make sure that these two numbers match. All right, I'm going to put it on this old Mag 77 skill saw that I got from a garage sale. I used to have a rule that if I ever saw a worm drive saw at a garage sale for less than 20 bucks, I bought it. So now I own like 7 of these things. You see the handle is red on one side and gray on the other, so it's a real peach. Okay, I'm not sure the correct way to get these inserts out. I guess I'm just going to try some pliers here. May have to go on YouTube and see how this is done. I've done it before, but boy, I don't remember. It's been a long time. I'm sure viewers are like, no, you got to use a such and such. If at first you don't succeed, get a bigger hammer. And remember, a screwdriver is a chisel. That seems to be working. Not bad. All right, we'll put this on the saw here. These worm drives are reverse threads. That's gotten me, it's caused me some grief in the past. So remember that. It's, what is it? Lefty tighty. Here we go. Yep. And this is an old one. I don't even think it has like an arbor lock. But the more you cut with it, the tighter it gets. Plus that blade is upside down. All right, try that again. Probably break off every single carbide tooth in a second if you try to cut metal with this thing on backwards. That'd be kind of a funny video, though. All right, let's get out the trusty Mac Torx security bit thing that I don't use for nothing but this. And now it's tight. All right, so I want to make myself a rocket stove out of some heavy-duty square tubing. So what I'm going to be cutting is some 3/16 4-inch square tubing. So this is almost a 1/4 inch thick. So that should be a pretty good test for the saw. If it cuts that, that'll be good. All right, I bought this cheap saw blade because I don't want to buy a $240 Evolution cold cut saw to make these cuts. Although I do want to buy one of those saws someday. But so I'm trying to make this thing as precise as possible. So I'm attaching this speed square on there with a clamp to try and get myself the best possible results. I'm also checking that the saw, anyways, you get the idea. But surprisingly, this thing is, when it says it's 0, it's 0. Because of that guard and stuff, I can't show you exactly the gap, but there is no gap. So you want to check your saw, you want to make sure you have a good guide. Okay, so that worked real good. There's a tiny deviation in the line there. I think it's not the saw blade's fault, that's for sure. Let's see. You know, something about how I was holding the saw. I ended up getting maybe about a 32nd, you know, or what is that, like a millimeter of difference between the first half from there to there and then from there to there. And that's totally fine. I'm going to be welding stuff and whatever, so that's all good. And none of the teeth are broken off of it, so, you know, as far as longevity goes, I don't think they really get dull. You're not lucky. You're not so lucky to let them get dull. What happens is you twist the saw a tiny bit while you're cutting, and it just starts breaking off teeth. So, anyways, that worked good. I didn't break off any teeth, so basically, it should be like new from now on until I start breaking off those teeth. All right, and finally, this part of the cut, because it's on an angle, I'd say that is a 1/4 inch, no problem. So, cuts through 1/4 inch, cuts through 3/16, not a big deal. All right, there's the final cut. I mean, if there's any imperfections in there, it's because of me. And actually, you know, I don't know. That blade made me better than I normally am. That's a nice cut. I'm sure you already know, but it's not hot at all. All right, so I got this little cordless Milwaukee metal cutting saw. It's pretty sweet, but I want to show you what happens when you twist the blade. So here's a, you know, super fine tooth metal cutting thing, but you can see like here, the blade got twisted, and so all those carbides are broken off. And then you got one, you're missing one, got one, missing one. This thing's probably got 2/3 of the teeth. You can still cut with it, but it just doesn't, it's not as nice, obviously. And here's another one that's not quite as fine tooth, but you can see they just break off. And, these things are not dull at all. They just get broken teeth. Okay, and here's a spotted banana slug. This part of the driveway, for some reason, is like just a major banana slug crossing.